The film centers around the program, a radical and controversial movement founded by a charismatic yet unstable figure known as Bokushi, who preaches salvation and healing to war veterans suffering from PTSD. Set against the backdrop of a tense federal standoff, the story explores themes of trauma, identity, redemption, and extremism. The narrative opens with Bokushi preparing to film a promotional video for the program. His followers, called Shinjas, revere him as a spiritual healer. The video presents Bokushi's philosophy: the US trains soldiers to kill but abandons them afterward. He claims the program is their path to healing. Meanwhile, former soldier Nash, once a devoted Shinja, struggles with trauma and grief following the death of his wife Ivali. He has tried to suppress his past, but memories and guilt torment him. Through flashbacks and therapy sessions, it's revealed that Ivali died in an accident that Nash blames himself for. The federal government, led by Agent Ashburn, is preparing to raid the program's compound due to Bokushi's increasingly militant actions and suspected criminal activities. A failed earlier operation led to casualties and escalated tensions. As the standoff intensifies, Ashburn approaches Nash for help. Despite his reluctance, Nash is drawn in when he receives a mysterious letter from a child at the compound, a letter written in Ivali's handwriting referencing the Enso, a symbolic circle representing unity and completeness, something deeply personal between Nash and Ivali. This revelation ignites hope. Could Ivali still be alive? Nash agrees to infiltrate the compound with a small tactical team to extract Ivali and neutralize Bokushi before the FBI launches an all-out assault. Throughout this journey, Nash reflects on his past within the program, his disillusionment with Bokushi's teachings, and the loss of the man he used to be. At the compound, Bokushi continues to enthrall his followers with fiery rhetoric, urging them to see their brokenness as value, not shame. He thrives on the devotion of his Shinjas and prepares them for impending conflict, believing martyrdom is a path to truth. The narrative shifts between Nash's infiltration flashbacks to his love story with Ivali and the escalating chaos at the compound. He discovers that Bokushi manipulated many into submission through psychological and emotional control, often targeting the most vulnerable. As Nash searches the compound, he confronts his own role in spreading Bokushi's teachings and wrestles with guilt. Eventually, Nash finds the young girl who delivered the letter. She confirms that Ivali might still be alive. Nash also uncovers evidence that the program has been using children as pawns for propaganda. As the government closes in and Bokushi prepares for a final stand, Nash must choose between vengeance and salvation. In a climactic confrontation, Nash confronts Bokushi. Their clash is not only physical but ideological, two veterans who dealt with pain in radically different ways. Nash ultimately rejects Bokushi's extremism and chooses a path of healing, not hate. The program is a tense, emotionally charged thriller centered around a militarized cult led by a charismatic yet dangerous figure known as Bokushi. The film explores themes of trauma, redemption, manipulation, and the blurred lines between salvation and extremism through the story of Nash Kavanagh, a former soldier haunted by his past and a man he once followed. The story begins with Bokushi delivering a fiery sermon to his loyal followers known as Shinjas. He preaches that the US government discards veterans after war, leaving them broken. Bokushi offers healing through the program, a radical commune operating under his command. Through theatrical rituals and emotional manipulation, he exerts complete control, branding disobedience worse than death. Nash, once a disciple of Bokushi, has distanced himself from the cult. He lives with deep guilt over the death of Ivali, the love of his life and a fellow Shinja. Ivali died in an accident after a car crash in the river, an incident Nash blames himself for. His memories of her haunt him. The FBI is in a tense standoff with the program after a failed raid resulted in the deaths of federal agents. Believing that Bokushi has become an imminent domestic threat, they plan a final assault on the compound. Meanwhile, Ashburn, a shadowy federal operative, approaches Nash for help. Ashburn reveals that a recent mission uncovered a message intended specifically for Nash, written in Ivali's handwriting. The message contains their shared symbol, the Enso, a circle representing unity and wholeness. The letter suggests she may still be alive inside the compound. Haunted by the past and clinging to hope, Nash agrees to help infiltrate the compound. He joins a covert special forces team led by Sergeant Major Kolek, and plans are made to enter before the FBI launches a full assault. For Nash, it's both a rescue mission and a reckoning. Through flashbacks, we see Nash and Ivali fall in love during their time in the program. Their relationship was kept secret. Bokushi demanded to approve all emotional attachments, insisting that love was a distraction from the mission. Though the cult's promises of purpose once gave Nash meaning, he came to see Bokushi as manipulative and dangerous. Inside the compound, Bokushi continues to stir his followers into fanaticism. He rallies them with rhetoric about sacrifice, dignity, and warfare, preparing them to die for their truth. In private, Bokushi reveals his twisted mentorship toward Nash, claiming to see himself in him. He believes Nash is destined to lead, but only if he accepts Bokushi's brutal philosophy. Nash and the team infiltrate the compound's underground tunnels, navigating through horrifying areas like the hatchery, where children are raised by the program from infancy, severed from their biological families. The soldiers rescue a mother and daughter hiding in fear. The girl recognizes Nash and offers vague but hopeful clues that Ivali might still be alive. As explosions erupt and the FBI breaches the gates, chaos breaks loose. Nash pushes deeper into the compound, taking down cultists in violent hand-to-hand combat. He demands answers. He needs to know what happened to Ivali. Bokushi, however, has vanished into the compound's labyrinth. In a shocking revelation, Nash learns from one of the cult's inner circle that the federal government may have secretly supported the program. Ashburn, who recruited Nash for the raid, allegedly funded Bokushi's arsenal in hopes of weaponizing veterans for covert operations. The betrayal runs deep. Nash realizes he was used by both sides. Nash finally confronts Bokushi over a loudspeaker system. Bokushi taunts him, calling him weak and deluded by regret. He cryptically hints that Ivali is where Nash should be, suggesting she either joined Bokushi's cause willingly or perished long ago. Nash, driven by grief, rage, and desperation, vows to find her and destroy what remains of the program. As the compound collapses into flames, the film ends with uncertainty. Ivali's fate is unknown, the truth behind the government's involvement remains murky, and Nash is left standing amid the ruins of the world that once gave him purpose. Though the program has fallen, the emotional and moral scars it left behind remain open. Ultimately, the program is a psychological war drama and cult thriller about how vulnerable people can be weaponized and how even the promise of healing can be twisted into fanaticism. It's a story of one man's quest to reclaim his humanity in the aftermath of personal and national betrayal. The program follows Nash Kavanagh, a former soldier and ex-member of a militarized cult led by the messianic figure Bokushi. Haunted by guilt over the presumed death of his lover Ivali, Nash is drawn back into the compound where the program is based when federal agents suggest she may still be alive. The US government, now preparing to raid the compound, tasks Nash with infiltrating the sect due to his insider knowledge. Inside, Bokushi maintains absolute control over his followers, preaching salvation through obedience, sacrifice, and violence. As Nash descends into the depths of his past, he uncovers disturbing truths, including Bokushi's system of child indoctrination and mass manipulation. The FBI plans a final assault, but Bokushi's grip on his people is strong and they are ready to die for him. Nash's mission to find Ivali becomes a desperate emotional journey through chaos, betrayal, and war. In a shocking twist, Nash learns that the government once secretly funded Bokushi's movement, hoping to repurpose disillusioned veterans. But Bokushi turned rogue, weaponizing their trauma to wage a holy war against the institutions that failed them. A violent confrontation ensues and the compound is destroyed, but Bokushi fakes his death and disappears. Later, Nash learns of Utiara, a new hidden compound where Bokushi has relocated with his most loyal followers, including Ivali. Nash tracks him down, setting the stage for a final confrontation. When Nash arrives at Utiara, he demands Ivali's return. Bokushi reveals he saved her after a past accident and raised their unborn child as his own. In a brutal hand-to-hand arena fight before Bokushi's followers, Nash is pushed to his limits emotionally and physically. Ivali, having reclaimed her will, intervenes in time to save him. The illusion of Bokushi's power breaks as Nash defeats him and his followers begin to see the truth. Though victorious, Nash is scarred. He and Ivali had dreamed of a new life, but freedom comes at a steep cost. As Nash reflects on everything lost and gained, he acknowledges that healing is not linear. Yet with Ivali at his side and hope rekindled, he resolves to keep fighting, not for war but for peace, family, and redemption. The program ends with a sense of renewal even as the shadows of the past still linger. The program is a psychological action drama that delves into the cost of war, the power of belief, and the struggle for personal redemption in a world that too often forgets its broken warriors. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.